Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to be planning our first week of school using the School Nest Planner. I have this blank and I have this notebook that I'm kind of brainstorming and writing notes on before I transfer it here. I'm really excited because it's the first week of school and this is really going to start the rest of the school year using this planner. So I'm excited to see how that'll change up my planner usage because I've been using it for day-to-day things, errands that I have to run, grocery lists, meal prep, that sort of thing. But now I'm going to tailor it toward school, and so I'm looking forward to using this planner for that. So first off, I have my notes here, and this is going to be for this page here, the weekly overview. I have some things I want to do, like making a special first week of school banner. I want to put a quote. I have this plant, let me see here. It's like something I printed out and just probably post this somewhere. And then I want to write a few goals down and then make a list of the things I want to get done for the first day of school. So I'm going to do that next and just go ahead and show you how it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's not completely finished yet because I do have to fill it out, but this is how it looks finished set up. So here's the quote that I went with. I just went on Pinterest and I typed in school quotes and I came upon this one. I really liked it. Let's begin this new chapter in our lives with a smile. I just put right smack in the middle, first week of school, and then I put first day prep list. So there's some things that I want to get prepared for the first day, and I'm going to write all that I need to do. More than likely Sunday, the night before, I'm going to go ahead and get all this done. And then just a few goals that I want to lay out here for me to look at for the week. Next, I'm going to fill this out. And here I just plan to use as my meal prep and like a list of things that I need to get done. And then the schedule is going to be which subjects I plan to do for each day. So I'm going to fill this out next. I'm going to write in the days of the weeks up here and the subjects down along this column. And then I'm going to get all the books out and look through them and see how much of each I'm going to complete in a day. This is what it looks like before I fill this part in. I just put the days of the week on top with the date for each of those days. So it runs from Monday to Saturday. And then down here, I start with language arts, spelling, vocab, grammar, writing, and then I have math, science, history, and art. And now I'm going to start filling it in, starting with the top of the subjects and then going down. Here I have the curriculum he's using, Soaring with Spelling and Vocabulary, Level 1. So I tested him out for the first few lessons. He basically got all the words right on the pre-test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip those few first ones where he got them right, where I know that he doesn't need to have that repetition. Okay, so he's gonna start with lesson 7. They have 5 days total. So I'm gonna take a look at them and see how many days of work he can do in one day. So I'm gonna just look at this, let's see. Okay, so I'm thinking for the first day, we'll do day 1, which is reviewing the list of words and then taking the pre-test. And then day 2, which is this worksheet here. It's just 1 page. And then I'm going to combine day 3, 4, and 5 because this is day 3 and 4, and then 5 is the test, just to make sure and test that he remembers how to spell the words. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So I have that written in for spelling and vocab. Next, I'm going to go with grammar. So I have the Well-Trained Mind First Language Lessons, Level 1 here. And for the first day, first lesson, it is only oral. So it's a very short lesson. It should only take about 5 minutes or less. So then I'm going to write that in here. But then I also have Growing with Grammar. And this book has about 96 lessons. So I'm just going to do 1 page or 1 lesson a day. So I'll go ahead and just do this page and this page here for lesson 1. So I'll go ahead and write that down. Next I have writing. There's 5 days for one lesson. So this one I'll break up again. This time I'm gonna do day 1 through 3 on Monday, and then day 4 and 5 on Wednesday. I also have the Jotted Down writing program. And so the first writing project is the fairy tale. So he'll be doing several fairy tales, but the first one we'll go ahead and do Rapunzel. And so I'll write down some of the things we'll do on the first day, which will be reading the story. And then on the second day, I'll have him do the narration, which includes both the drawing and the written narration, and putting that in his booklet that he'll be doing each writing project in. So just to show again what that looks like for the Jotted Down, the first day, Monday, we'll read the fairy tale, and then on Wednesday, we'll go ahead and do the visual and writing narrations in his little booklet that he'll put together for all the fairy tales that he reads and does his narrations for. For math, we're using dimensions. I'm just gonna go ahead and look through this as well and see how many I think he can complete for each day of the week, and then I'll write that down. Alright, so I'm deciding for Tuesday he can do lessons 1 through 5, and then that also comes with the exercise workbook, exercises 1 through 3. I said 1 through 5, I meant 1 through 3. And then Thursday he'll finish up 4 and 5 for both the lessons and the exercises, and that'll finish up chapter 1. It seems like a lot, but should be fairly easy because he's reviewing his numbers. So it's not like he's learning anything new, it's more like review. So I'm just gonna put that and see how that goes. And now we'll move on to science, which goes back to Monday, Wednesday. Okay, next we have science. We are going with the elemental science, biology for the grammar stage. This is the teacher guide. So far, I am a little overwhelmed with all the information on here. This is something that I'm definitely gonna have to take some time to look over and just get the hang of it, I'm sure, as the weeks go on. But so far what I'm seeing is, and see, I did this last year, but this year there's definitely more that they added on. So first of all, there are reading assignments. There's an article that I can find in this book on page 26 that we can read. It's really short. Some questions we can go over. This, I'm not sure what it is. Oh, I just remembered what it is. It's one of the encyclopedias that we have. Okay, so I'm seeing now, this is Basher Science. So I'm gonna go on that page that it tells me. So in that book, I'll read this and go over this question. So that's the reading part. Then there's some optional memory work where he can memorize a little poem. There's also some other reading books that we can go over if I decide to go to the library. I also have these books here. So there's that. All of this is for the reading part. Then this is the demonstration. Sometimes they're actual projects, but this time it's more of a demonstration and activities. So I'm going to have to find 8 objects, some living and some non-living, and then there's a chart that he'll fill out as we go over what makes something living and distinguish both of those things. Then there's some more questions to discuss throughout the project, and then more explanations to go over. There's an optional thing we can do, which is to go on a walk and find more objects. There's another optional project where we can make a collage of pictures of living and non-living things. Then there's another optional project. This is a game that we can play, that we can find on this website, a video that we can watch. So all of those are more of the hands-on projects that we can go over. Then there is the writing aspect. So in the student workbook, he can dictate, copy, or write one of the 4 sentences on the living and non-living things. Then there is, I didn't get any lap book templates, so it's just the student pages, student workbook that he'll be using. And then there's also some coloring pages that I can find in the student pages as well. Here's the vocabulary, and then an optional weekly review sheet, which is pretty much like a quiz or like a little test. So there's so many things here. So I'm gonna go ahead and look through this again and just kind of wrap my mind around it and then decide what I'm gonna do for each day. And again, it's only gonna be 2 days that we'll be working on science. And a lot of times too, I don't do everything on this, obviously. I mean, that's why there's so many optional things we can do. but I'm gonna pick and choose, and for the most part, I do try to do at least one thing for each section, which is one thing for the reading, one thing for the demonstration, and one thing for the writing. So I'll go ahead and write that in next. This is what the student workbook looks like. So these are 2 pages where he can do the collages. He can put a collage of pictures of living things here, and then his collage of pictures of non-living things here. I'm definitely going to do that just so that I have something that we can look back on, so to see how he understood this concept. And then this is the writing portion where he can write a few sentences of what he learned. And then lastly, this is the demonstration part where it's the chart. He will be writing down each of the objects' name and then answering these questions. So it will allow for a lot of discussion between me and him, and observation, examining, each object, and just something that will really help him to retain all the information that he's learned for the week. Okay, so I hope this won't be confusing because there's a lot that I just had to go over for the science portion. But so for the first day, we're gonna go ahead and read the article that's in the teacher guide and also Basher Encyclopedia. And then we'll go ahead and do memory work, but I'm not gonna have him memorize it, but just go over the poem. And then there's that demonstration chart where he's going to, they call it a lab report. So he's gonna look at the objects, observe them, and then fill out this chart. So we're gonna do all of that on day 1. And then on the following day, on Wednesday, I like the idea of watching that YouTube video. He really likes watching educational YouTube videos, so I'll do that. And then we'll do the writing portion, which is this page here, where he's gonna write 1 to 4 sentences of what he's learned. And then we'll do the life collage, which is this page. I think I'd like to take advantage of these student pages because it's something to look back on, and it kind of shows that proof, of the things that he has learned is something tangible. So we'll go ahead and do this collage as well on this day. And so those are the things that we're gonna do for science this week. For history, we're going to do History Quest. So I do not have the student workbook yet. So what I decided to do is I went on their website and I downloaded they call it the Try Before You Buy. It's like a PDF for the first few units. And so that kind of saved me. So I'll be able to look at the student pages from there. And they give me a schedule and everything with the activities and think how much to read. So the first week we'll be reading this, the introduction, which is just a couple of pages here, or a few pages. And then I'll go and refer to that PDF and I'll write down here what it is we'll do for each of those days. So the first week for history is definitely just an introduction, just so that we could get familiar with how it works, which I'm so grateful for that. So he'll be reading, he's not gonna read it all, but just kind of skim through the encyclopedia pages from page 12 to 91, and we can look at the pictures, discuss it a little bit. And then we're also going to read the pages from this book, pages 1 through 3, which are the introduction pages. Then on the second day, which is on Thursday, we're going to be doing a few things where there's a short answer, but there's 3 questions, but I'm just going to choose one of them. And then there's a narration where he can write 3 things he learned, but I'm just going to have him write 1 thing he learned. And then there's copy work, but instead of doing the 3 different sentences, I'm just going to have him write 1 sentence. So that way, instead of just choosing one of these, he does 1 of each, if that makes sense. There's also, I think, a coloring page he can do, and I'll post that as well. So I look forward to putting this section in his School Nest notebook and showing you how that looks at the end of the week. Lastly is his art, and that curriculum we're gonna tackle on Friday. So this is what we're using, Art for Children. This is from Artistic Pursuits, Volume 1. And here is the DVD. So we'll be watching that and then doing the lesson here, lesson 1. So here's what he'll need, which we have everything. He'll be watching video number 1 and then basically just following the steps here. So he'll select an object and after watching the video on how to use his watercolor crayons, he will make his own art project. And that's it for lesson 1. So these are my final thoughts after I've kind of gone over everything, and I do feel like this is a lot, in my opinion. It's a lot for science and it's a lot for language arts. There's a lot of writing going on with all of these. It's not just the writing subject, but even for grammar and spelling, there's a lot of writing going on. And my son, that's not his strongest skill. I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know if maybe I can even not do like all of the workbook pages, maybe just choose 1 or 2 and call it a day, you know? So I'm really curious how that's going to go, and I'm very willing to adjust, and as long as he can, you know, remember how to spell the words, that's all that matters. So I'm not gonna make him suffer for it. So that's how it looks like though so far, and I will make another video at the end of the week to just let you know how our first week went and any adjustments that we're going to make. And I'm just really looking forward to starting school again, and I hope that my son has a nice week. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope that everyone has a good start of the school year, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.